My name is Anita Ladani, and I am a licensed clinical social worker, a therapist, and an energy practitioner. I am also a happily divorced single mom of two boys, and have had a little experience, experiencing life and tragedy and heart pain, heart loss. I'm making up words now. Heartache and experiencing life in general. I've also had the privilege of working with quite a few incredible people that have trusted me to help them along in their journey. And so that's who I am. Today I want to talk to you about who do you turn to for advice. I think one of the most amazing things that we can do in terms of when we are hurting or when we are in trouble or when we are in difficulty is being able to ask and reach out and ask for help. I think that takes a lot of courage, and also being able to, if you are someone that is trusted enough that someone is coming to you for help or advice, I think that's a huge compliment. So, but I think it matters because in my experience of reaching out to my friends, so it used to be where I would, when I was going through difficulties, I would pick up the phone, or I would, ask to have lunch with a friend, and I would sit and I would talk about everything that was bothering me, and I would get their advice. And and then of course, when things were resolved, then I would, if I didn't necessarily follow their advice, then there was that added pressure of updating them with what I did, or feeling bad facing them afterwards because I didn't follow the advice. So I think it's important to consider the source of the advice, right? Who are you turning to for help? I think it's really important to be mindful of that, because a lot of times we turn to our closest friends and family, and of course that's a great idea because that's where you start. But what tends to happen is that our loved ones are biased, right? They have their own, they know us, so they want to protect us, they want the best for us. But it's not just that they're biased because they want the best for us, but I think a lot of times their own experience of life influences the advice that they give us. So if someone's been heartbroken, or if someone's been disappointed, and who hasn't been, right? But if their approach to life tends to be a little more pessimistic, a little more cautious, or just paranoid, or whatever the case might be, the advice I'm going to be getting is going to be colored through those lenses. And so it's just important whether you accept the advice or whether you don't. I think it's important to consider the source and where they're coming from, and then take the advice into consideration. I think at the end of the day, no one knows best but you, but I, right? But I think we get caught up in the chatter in our head. We get so stressed and caught up with whatever the situation is. There's so many sort of voices in our heads that are influencing, and we're confused, to be honest. So in that sense, how do you process and listen to the voice of your own inner intuition? And I think the key to that, yes, get other people's advice, but I'll tell you a couple of things. Here's a couple of things. Seek a professional if you need to process something. Okay? Now, they might give you the same sort of process. Professionals won't necessarily give you advice, but they will help you. They will help create a safe space for you to clear out your limiting beliefs and then think clearly about whatever the issue is at hand. So, plus, they don't have biases that they're coming into, because a professional therapist, counselor, psychologist, licensed clinical social worker, marriage and family therapist, whatever the title is, right? A professional therapist will not sit and, for the most part, give you, their biases, right? They're supposed to reflect and help you get clear about the entire situation. So I would suggest, instead of reaching out to your family members or your friends time and time again, reach out to a professional. It's not to mention, depends on how often you're turning to your family members or loved ones for help. This is interesting. When I move my hand, the light changes. When I move it up, the light gets brighter. I'm sure there's a reason for that. But anyways, when we continuously go to our family members or our friends for the same issues, they get frustrated with us. They get irritated with us, especially if they feel that, we're not doing things the way we should be doing it. Especially if they feel like we're not learning our lessons. We keep repeating the same mistakes. They get really frustrated to the point where they're like, well, I don't want to listen to this anymore, right? But so my suggestion is seek a professional, whether it's a pastor in your church, whether it's a, your doctor, your psychologist, whatever the case might be. That's step one. But I would humbly encourage, if you are not already practicing mindfulness, meditation, I would humbly encourage you to start a practice of mindfulness. No one knows the answers to your situation. No one knows the truth. No matter how much I might share with someone the details around, the situation I'm dealing with, no one really understands, and no one can fully comprehend my history, my thoughts, my situations. And so it's really best if you're able to sit in silence, meditate. If you're just starting off, go to YouTube. YouTube, put in a 10-minute guided meditation. Those are great. That's how I started meditating when I had no idea what I was doing. A 10-minute meditation will help sort of talk you through with some nice soothing music, help you focus your mind and your attention onto your breath. And of course, if you practice transcendental meditation, which is also mantra meditation, or if you practice vipassana, which is just observing your body sensations, that's the place to start, because I truly believe that God speaks to us, through our thoughts, through our intuition, which is our little voice in our heart, in our head. But to be able to listen to that, we need to create silence. We need to quiet down the chatter that is happening constantly. The Buddhists call it the monkey mind, because the monkey is constantly chattering in our heads. There's a comment. Let me see. Bhaskar Patel, thank you for joining. Inner soul drive to take you to the level of understanding what your level of achievement. It's only you and you. I can change, empowering self and dedication towards your own self. No need to go outside. Truth is inside. Just pull it out and understand. Completely and absolutely agree with you. Go within. I completely agree. But not everyone, Mr. Bhaskar, not everyone is at that point where they're able to do that. I mean, it's accessible to all of us. But unfortunately, people give up very easily when it comes to meditation. They feel that, oh, I can't do it. It's, I get distracted too easily. And so many reasons. And yes, it is a process. It's even now. I mean, I try to sit and meditate daily, but it doesn't happen daily. But even now, when I do it, whether it's 3 days a week, whether it's 4 days a week, even now, my mind wanders. I mean, that's just part of the process, and it's okay. But just sitting, because ultimately what Mr. Patel is saying, and I agree with that, the answers are all within us, because divinity is within us all. And if we truly just quiet down and listen, we'll know what to do in any situation. But we don't, exactly. Willpower is very different, but it's a start. You got to start somewhere. But while you're working on that, it's okay to seek help. It's okay to talk to someone that you trust, that you respect. It doesn't have to be a professional therapist, but as long as you trust the person, it's okay. That's fine. But at the end of the day, listen to your own intuition, listen to your own gut about what advice is being given to you, and don't just follow it blindly. Anyways, I'm having a hard time breathing because I literally just put an incense stick on, and I'm in a small room, so therefore, so I apologize. But anyways, I hope this has been helpful. Please feel free to comment and share your experiences. And as always, love and light, and God bless. Take care.